Hello and welcome back to our Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky playthrough. In our last story episode, what did we do? Well, that's right, we investigated the arson attempt at, well, I say attempt, they actually succeeded. We investigated the arson at the Mercia Orphanage. We learned a few things and promptly had the case taken away from us by Redhead Cloud. So yeah, we've been put in charge of security, I suppose you could say, at the Jenis Academy and their annual festival. So we're off to help there. Just for the sake of thoroughness. There is another word I'm thinking of, but I can't. I can see it in my mind, but it's just doesn't want to come out. There has been a bonus episode between now and then taking care of all of these Bracers Guild missions, because they were all short time left. So that's 3 hours of your life you'll never get back if you decide to watch that. But yes, off we go to the Jenis Academy, which is north. Yes, north. There we go. East Jenis Royal Academy, 252 miles. Go us. Ew, insects. Moth flyers have 185 HP, they're weak to fire, they can drop savoury pinions. Lava monsters that can petrify their prey, difficult to hit, only attacks females. And the flying moth has 515 HP, no particular elemental weakness, it can drop a savoury pinion. An insect monster from the forest. Its wings shed petrifying scales. May call for backup. Ow. Nasty little things. Ow. Ow.
That's that then. Let's move out.
Let's. So both Joshua and Estelle leveled up to level 18. Go us. Joshua has learned Cloak and Dagger as a craft. And we've received 2 savoury pinions. Okay. Yes, these emus. Only one emu. Roadrunner. It has 880 HP. It has no particular elemental weakness. It can drop tender poultry or a bird egg. An avian monster that lives in the forest. Its sharp clawed attack can be dangerous. And from the bonus episode, yes, I can confirm that its sharp clawed attack can be very dangerous.
Nicely done.
So that was 2 of you. Okay. Ow.
All right, we're good to go.
Nice. Oh, so it's neither or, is it? So there's nothing around there. You are hiding behind the trees. Come on, Chloe. You can do better than that. Flying moth cast petrify powder. It's not very effective.
Nicely done.
Alright then. Welcome to the Jenis Royal Academy. Estelle says, wow, so this is the Royal Academy. I like it here. It seems so nice and relaxing. Joshua says, perfect type of environment for studying, I'd say. Chloe laughs. Well, everyone's in class at the moment. It'll get pretty noisy if you just wait around a little while. We're having the campus festival soon. Joshua says, so I guess people are busy preparing for it. Chloe nods. Correct. I want to introduce you to the head of the student council, but she's in class. So I'll take you to the dean's office first. Estelle asks, why there? Chloe replies, to meet Dean Collins. He's in charge of the whole academy. His office is on the first floor of the main building to the right. Estelle says, got it. Joshua says, well, let's go meet the dean then. The boys' dormitories? Girls' dormitories, alright. Maybe a bit further than to the right. Janitor Park says students are always up late around this time of year, which means that I have to make my rounds later than usual. Oh, you poor man. The Academy Clubhouse. Did I just go in a complete circle? Dunno. Guess we'll find you. Back road. I guess we did. Well, not a complete circle, but... Fauna says, oh, hello, Chloe. Chloe says, pardon me, Fauna, I just got back. Fauna laughs, welcome back. If you're looking for the dean, he just went to his office. He's been quite worried about you. Chloe says, oh, all right, I'll go and see him now. Well, that's the faculty lounge. It's the dean's office. And that's just a door. Chloe says, I'm back, Dean Collins. Dean Collins says, hello, Chloe. And who might you be? Estelle says, it's nice to meet you, Dean. Joshua adds, we're from the Bracers Guild. Dean Collins says, but you're so young. Very impressive indeed. Are you by any chance here because of the fire at the orphanage? Chloe says, yes, actually. Chloe explained the entire situation surrounding the fire to Dean Collins. Dean Collins says, I see. That's terrible. I wish I could do something to help. Well, first there's the matter of cheering up the children. Perhaps I could start there. Chloe says, yes, sir. In that case, I will work on the play with Estelle and Joshua. Dean Collins says, I think that's a good idea. Estelle and Joshua, I wish you both the best. Do what you can. Estelle salutes, yes, sir. Joshua adds, to the best of our meagre abilities. Dean Collins says, I'm letting the head of the student council handle the matter of the play. Her name is Jill. She can tell you far more about it than I ever could. I'll see about setting up dorm rooms for you. Joshua asks, dorms? Dean Collins replies, well, the campus festival is almost upon us. I'd imagine that you'll need to rehearse every day for long hours. And if that's the case, you'll need a place to sleep, will you not? Estelle says, oh, okay. Joshua says, that would be greatly appreciated. Dean Collins says, lessons seem to have concluded for the day. Why not go and introduce yourselves to the president then? Chloe smiles, yes, sir. We should go to the student council room next. It's to the right of the main building, on the second floor of the clubhouse. Estelle says, "Okay, let's go." Mickey says, "Setting up for the campus festival is such a pain. Let the people that want to be involved work on it." Taylor says, "Everyone in the Woodwinds group is late. I wonder if I should just start getting ready on my own." A Jenis lunch for 500 monies. And we've received and learned its recipe. Deborah asks, "How's the festival setup going? You need to keep your strength up, so big servings all around. Come by at any time." Okay, what have you got in your shop? A vegetable sandwich. Okay. Not sure how you get big servings of a sandwich, but okay. Roy says, "Oh, hi, Chloe. Good to see you back." Chloe replies, "Hello, Roy. You look very busy." Roy says, "I'm trying to find something for my class display. I'd better get a move on, or else I'll never hear the end of it from Logic." Okay. Patrick says, "The festival setup phase is when the club practices and rests. Today, this is all we have to practice with. But it's obviously pretty crucial." If you say so, Patrick. Felicity says, "Ugh, I'm so busy. There's the class display and I'm in the play later, plus I have to help with the club's food stand. All of it is getting to be a little bit much, even for me. I wonder if I should drop one of them." Raina replies, "Sometimes people don't really make their meanings clear." Felicity asks, "Huh?" Raina replies, "Everyone agreed that it was a lot, but if we all put in our fair share, we'd get it taken care of. But he who has made the least progress will inevitably be the one to proclaim how busy he is." Felicity asks, "What are you getting at?" Raina replies, "Just that I wonder which one makes you feel the busiest. Of course, I always figured you'd handle all of them with no problem. Felicity says, all right, I get it already. I'll keep working on all of them." Well, good for you. Jill sighs, "So busy. The budgets for all of the concession stands have been checked over. No problems with sending out invitations. Hans adds, now all that's left is the play. If we can't find anyone to fill the last 2 roles, the only option might be for us to fill them in ourselves." Jill says, "Oh no, there's no way you're acting in the play. The horrors I witnessed when we first tried the costumes on are going to haunt me for the rest of my life." Hans sighs, "Don't remind me. I never want to wear anything like that ever again." Chloe calls, "I'm back, Jill. Hello, Hans." Jill says, "Chloe, I heard about the fire. It must have been awful." Hans asks, "Were the matron and kids all right?" Chloe says, "Yes, they're fine for now. The orphanage was burnt to the ground, though." Hans says, "I see." Jill says, "Well, try to keep your spirits up. Fretting won't do anyone any good." best thing we can do is make the play something the kids can enjoy. Chloe replies, yes, Matron Teresa gave us the same advice, so we'll give it our best. Jill replies, with your help, I'm sure everything will turn out fine. To think I was stressing about it just a few minutes ago. Who are your friends? Estelle says, nice to meet you. My name's Estelle. Joshua adds, I'm Joshua. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Jill says, so you must be the ones Chloe spoke of before. Chloe laughs. I told you I'd bring them here. They'll be helping too. Jill grins. Oh, that's a relief. I'm glad to meet both of you. I'm Jill Jill Rydell. I'm the head of the student council. I'll be directing the play. Hans adds, and I'm the Vice President Hans. It's nice to meet you both. Estelle says, likewise. Joshua says, good to meet you too. Jill says, you know. Estelle asks, what? Jill says, with braces here, maybe we can incorporate stunts. Are you any good with the sword, Estelle? Estelle blushes. Well, my father mainly trained me on the staff, but I'm not hopeless at least. Jill grins. Okay, that settles it. You'll have a big sword fight with Chloe. Estelle gasps. Whoa. A sword fight? Chloe says she means in the play, of course. Jill says there's a duel between the two knights at the climax of the play. A really powerful scene, perfect for the final act. We don't have any girls who could use a sword well enough to compete with Chloe, much less make it look good. She beat every guy in the fencing tournament and took the top spot. Estelle gasps, oh wow. Jill says she actually beat out Hans in the final match. Hans sighs. Thanks for reminding me, Jill. It's not that I'm no good, it's just that Chloe is way better. Chloe blushes. I'm still only an amateur. I don't think I'd be any match for a professional like Estelle. Estelle says, and again with the modesty, but hey, if you need my help, I'm your girl. We can do it, Chloe. Chloe smiles. I'm sure we can. Thank you. Joshua laughs. You know, a duel between two female knights ought to be pretty unique. Hans asks, female knights? They're going to be playing the two male knights. Joshua gasps, huh? Jill says, but that leaves us without a role for Joshua. Oh my, whatever shall we do? He deserves to play a crucial role in this. Hans replies, yes, a crucial role. I think we may have just the part for him. Estelle looks vacantly at everyone. Joshua asks, what kind of play is this exactly? Jill replies, it's called Madrigal of the White Magnolia. It's a famous story set in a time where there are nobles and commoners. Not to break it to you, love, but there are still nobles and peasants. Even today. A princess is courted by both a knight of royal blood and a commoner. In spite of their different social classes, the three have been friends since childhood. As you can imagine, this leads to complications between the nobles and the commoners. And there's a great happy ending to the whole thing. Estelle smiles. Hey, that sounds like fun. Joshua says, so then, why are the girls playing the guy roles? Hans replies, it's just something to make the production more interesting this time. Having guys and girls switch roles, that is. Estelle asks, really? Wow, and the teachers are okay with this? Jill exclaims, "End sexual discrimination, be free of gender roles." Put in that light, the teachers love the idea. Personally, I just thought people would get a kick out of it. Chloe says, "Jill, you're incorrigible." Hans sighs, "Yep," though she says she prefers the title Evil Genius. Estelle laughs, "I'm totally up for this." Joshua looks despondent. "Hey, hold on a second. From what you're telling me, then, the crucial role you need me to play is..." Hans replies, "Yep, you're really doing us a massive favour here." Jill says, "Thank you for introducing us to such nice people, Chloe." Chloe laughs with embarrassment. "I'm sorry, Joshua." Hopefully he will look good in a dress. Estelle says, "So these are our costumes? I figured that if we're playing knights, we'd be all armoured up." Jill replies, "Well, armour and a helmet won't work so well if we want people to see you act. That's why I decided to arrange things so you'd be dressed more like the Royal Guardsman." Estelle says, "Oh, I got it. It's perfect for Chloe. She's petite." Chloe laughs. "Thank you so much. I think it suits you also." Estelle laughs. "Really? Say, why are we dressed in different colours?" Chloe replies, "Because I'm playing the Azure Knight, Oscar. You're playing the Ruby Knight, Julius. It makes the play more colourful." Estelle replies, "Ah, okay then. So, what about Joshua?" Hans replies from off stage, "The object of your affection is the fair Princess Cecilia. Come along, Princess, this way." Joshua stammers, "Wait, I'm not in the moment yet." Hey, if Cloud could do it, you can suck it up and do it, Joshua. Joshua is not impressed. Estelle is shocked. Chloe is having indigestion. Jill looks stunned. Joshua sighs. "If you're going to say something, say it. Don't leave me in suspenders." Estelle says, "Well, how should I put it? I think it looks perfect." Chloe says, "I'm shocked. You look beautiful." Hans replies, "Indeed, such poise. Why, if I didn't know what's really going on under there, I'd be smitten at the very sight of you." Joshua is far from impressed. "Well, thank you for being so honest about it, at least. I am not so thrilled, but..." Jill laughs. "This is just as I'd hoped. I think everyone will be pretty pleased with the casting. Come on, everyone, let's make this play one to remember." Everyone agrees in their own way. Apart from Joshua, who breaks into tears. Afterward, Estelle and Joshua each slept in their respective dormitories. Chloe says, "Okay, Estelle, please use this bed." Estelle says, "Thank you. But that means you and Jill are in the same room. You two must be close." Chloe laughs. "We have been, ever since we first started here." Jill adds, "And as roommates, we're pretty much inseparable." There are several movies dedicated to what happens between roommates, but yes. Anyway, Jill goes on. "By the way, I have a proposition for you. And it also those movies also tend to start off like this as well, with a proposition. Yep, they do. Jill asks, what? Jill asks, want to be an honorary best friend of mine? Okay. Yes. Yes. I believe the term scissor is one that tends to be thrown around at about this point. Jill continues, after all, we're going to be working together. You don't mind, do you? Estelle laughs, of course not. Chloe says, not superseding me, I hope. We're a best friend trio, right? Perhaps this should be rated a little bit higher if we're going into this territory. Estelle says, yeah, of course we are. My new best friends, Jill and Chloe. Chloe says, wonderful. Jill says, looks like it's just us girls in here. This will be fun. There better be a pillow fight after this. Jill carries on. No need to worry about boys prying eyes while we're here. Chloe says, you make it sound so dirty. Well, Jill sighs, you're so innocent, like a little lamb. Chloe says, oh, that's just mean. Just for that, I'm not baking you any sweets. I'm not sure she wants you to bake her any sweets, Chloe. Jill says, oh, well, pardon me. I apologize for offending you, Mademoiselle Chloe. Chloe says, nope, try again. Jill asks, what's wrong, Estelle? What's with all the staring? She's wondering if she can borrow a toothbrush and some pyjamas, I think. Estelle laughs, it's no big deal. I've just got a little green monster on my shoulder. Jill asks, what do you mean? Estelle replies, I have some friends back in Roulette. Okay, This may be going too far. Estelle continues, but the most we ever did was have sleepovers. I think it must be nice to have someone close living under the same roof with you. Jill asks, what do you think, Chloe? Chloe replies, I'm not sure. I don't really understand what would make you jealous, Estelle. Estelle asks, huh? Jill says, I concur. I almost want to ask where you get off saying something like that. I'm not sure we want to know exactly how she gets off or where she gets off. We can draw a curtain over that, possibly. Estelle asks, why would you say that? Jill says, oh, come on. You've got a travelling companion, don't you? Pretty nice looking one to boot. Who you've also, I don't know, lived under the same roof with? Estelle gulps. Are you talking about Joshua? Chloe says, that's kind of a silly question. Jill says, you've got a hot guy with you all the time and you're jealous of us living in an all-girl household. I'm playing a tiny violin for you, like minuscule in size. Estelle grunts, shows what you know. Joshua's more like a big brother to me. Us living together is more like a family thing. Jill grins. Oh ho, a family thing, she says. I don't think Estelle is in the family way quite just yet. Jill continues, I wonder if Joshua feels the same way. Estelle gasps, huh? Jill says, I bet that's not what a guy his age would think. It's got to be tough for him to always be around a pretty girl like you. Chloe says, enough, Jill. I'm so sorry, Estelle. Jill has a bad habit of picking on people. Jill says, if we're going to start talking about bad habits. Chloe asks, is there something you'd like to say? Jill replies, nope, I'm good. Estelle laughs in embarrassment. Come on, don't mess with me like that. And really, Joshua, I mean, come on, no way. Jill sings, someone's in denial. Well, denial is in between two beds. Chloe says, Jill. Jill says, oops, I just remembered. I have to give my daily report to the teacher before bed. So good night, ladies. Sleep well. So no pillow fight? In intimate lingerie? No? Oh well. Jill leaves. Chloe says, I swear. All right, Estelle. If you'd like, I can lend you some of my pajamas. Estelle blushes. Chloe asks, Estelle? Estelle says, Hawa? All right, pajamas. Sure, that sounds great. Slightly used, one careful owner. With that, Estelle and Joshua's unlikely life at the Royal Academy has begun. Look, just because you're awake doesn't mean that you have to wake everyone else up, Chloe. In the morning, they would wake up and go to the school just like any other students. And Estelle would very obviously get all the wrong answers, and Joshua would save her with all the right answers. All throughout the morning, they attended lessons with the other students. Should we not be wearing uniforms? Like everyone else? No? As the day wore on, lunch was enjoyed by all over... Start that again. As the day wore on, lunch was enjoyed by all over pleasant, silly conversation. There should have been another comma in there. Mostly revolving around how Joshua might look in heels. Forget the heels, he's got to look good in the stockings. School was followed by rigorous rehearsals that lasted late into the night. Everyone was having such fun that time seemed to fly by. And the day before the festival, there should be a little band down in the orchestra pit with the conductor going crazy and Celeste dancing around. Anyway, Ruby Knight Julius says, my friend, I fear that this was inevitable. Perhaps fate always intended for us to meet in so base a fashion. Speak that we may both be unburdened, if nothing else for our beloved princess. Azure Knight Oscar says, we would cleave a path through fate with our own hands, but at this moment my words and her smile seem lost. Ruby Knight Julius asks, has fear clutched your heart, Oscar? As your knight Oscar asks, but what is this passion that pierces me to the quick? Though I have no wish to fight you again, it would seem that I am left with little choice. Before this storm, by the name of revolution, should claim us both. Take up thy sword, and we shall let fate decide. Ruby Knight Julius proclaims, yes, and may the goddess above see our spirits as they truly are. Come then, let it be done. As your knight Oscar says, indeed. Estelle says, whew. So does Chloe. Estelle cries, woohoo! I finally got through the scene with no mistakes. Chloe laughs, and a convincing performance it was. Estelle laughs. I've got nothing on you, though. I don't think you flubbed a single line. Chloe says, well, I've been familiar with this script for a long time. I think I learned it at about the same rate you're going. I really appreciate you taking the trouble to rehearse. Estelle says, it's no big deal. You've kind of been my guide through it all. I think you would make a great bracer personally. Chloe laughs. You flatter me. We finally do this for real tomorrow. I hope Matron Teresa and the children will enjoy it. Estelle laughs. They really mean a lot to you, don't they? They're like your family. I'm sorry, did I say something wrong? Chloe shakes her head. No, you're right exactly. And they're the ones who taught me the real value of family. Both of my parents died shortly after I was born. Estelle gasps. What? Chloe says, I was left in the care of an affluent relative. I never wanted for anything. But I really had no idea what having a family was like. It was 10 years ago that I met the matron. Estelle repeats, 10 years ago? Was that during the 100 Days' War? Chloe nods. Yes, that was when I came to Rouen. Everyone I knew had scattered, trying to escape the Imperial forces. Matron Teresa and her husband Joseph took me in and cared for me. Estelle says, wow. Chloe says, after the war ended, we waited several months for word to come from my relatives. She and Joseph were so kind to me. That was when I first understood what it must be like to have a mother and father, and how it must be to have a family to be with. Estelle says, Chloe. Chloe says, I'm sorry. I've been rambling. You must be bored to tears. Estelle says, no, not at all. Let's really show everyone tomorrow how it's done. Chloe nods. Right. Estelle says, I was worried before, but I'm really excited now. Jill and Hans sure have worked hard on this, haven't they? Chloe laughs. Yes, indeed. But I think Joshua has really been the biggest help. I never expected him to be such a good actor. Estelle says, yeah. He acted all uninterested, but he sure plays the role of the spoiled princess well. Chloe said, he definitely nailed the mannerisms. I've seen professionals turn in worse performances. Does he have any experience in the theatre? Estelle says, I don't really know much about his life before I met him. Whatever went on back then, he's never wanted to talk about it. Chloe says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry. Estelle laughs. Don't sweat it. He's always been the type to be good at whatever he does. He's always so calm and collected. Sometimes he gets flustered though, and that's when he's really cute. Chloe giggles. Estelle asks, what? Chloe says, Perhaps our roles should have been reversed. Estelle asks, huh? Chloe replies, Julius and Oscar. Somehow I think you would have preferred to play Oscar. Estelle asks, huh? How come? Well, maybe. I mean, Julius is the son of a noble, and I sure don't know anything about that. Chloe says, that's not what I mean. It's more about, the ending. Estelle says, oh, you mean how Oscar gets... Chloe says, right. Estelle blushes, well, it's just Joshua. And hey, do you mean you wouldn't like kissing Joshua? Chloe says, don't be ridiculous. Still, it does seem rather risque. Estelle says, come on, you're starting to sound like Jill. And besides, Joshua just sees me like a little sister. Does he? Asks Chloe. Estelle nods. He's always treated me like a little kid, especially with my dad around. It drives me nuts. Anyway, there's absolutely nothing like that going on. Chloe stammers, okay. Joshua says, here you are. Estelle asks, Joshua? Chloe says, Hans. Hans says, rehearsal's over and you're still practicing. That's some dedication you two have. Joshua asks, ready for the big duel scene? Estelle nods, just leave it to us, it'll be flawless. Joshua asks, really? I look forward to seeing it. Chloe asks, anyway, what are you two doing here? Were you looking for us? Hans replies, yeah, today's the last day that you two will be studying with us in the dorms, right? Staying, not studying. I was thinking we could have a big dinner to pump ourselves up. Estelle says, maybe. Yeah, let's do it. Chloe grins. I think it sounds like a great idea. Joshua says, by the way, wasn't Jill with you? Chloe replies, she was called away by the dean some time ago. I'll go check on her. Estelle says, I'll come with you. You guys can go on ahead to the cafeteria. Joshua says, okay, let's go to the cafeteria. Hans replies, as you wish, boss. Joshua sighs, don't call me that. And off they go. Estelle laughs. Looks like they've really hit it off. Sometimes it worries me that it doesn't really let people get close. Chloe chuckles. Estelle asks, what? Chloe replies, oh, it's nothing. Estelle says, okay then, let's go get changed. It'll be kind of embarrassing to walk around like this. Chloe says, I have to agree. And they go and change. Estelle says, that should do it. Want to go meet up with Jill? Chloe says, alright, let's go to the dean's office. To the dean's office then. In the dean's office, Jill says, hey, that's a great idea. That's our dean, always level-headed. Dean Collins laughs. You flatter me. Then I assume I can entrust the list to you? Jill replies, yes, sir, I'll take care of it. Estelle knocks on the door and cries out, excuse us. Chloe says, oh, we're sorry, are we interrupting? Dean Collins replies, no, we were just finishing up. Actually, Jill says, Dean, don't say anything. will spoil the fun tomorrow. Estelle asks, what? You're acting all suspicious. Chloe says, so what are you planning this time, Jill? Jill laughs. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to find out. Anyway, what's up? Do you need me for something? Chloe replies, yes, actually. Chloe explained that an evening feast had been planned for the next day in anticipation of the play's success. Jill says, oh, that sounds fine. I'm just hoping and praying that the festival is a big success. Let's give it all we've got. Dean Collins laughs. Barring any major complications, I think tomorrow will go just fine. Chloe nods. Yes, sir. Estelle says, come on, Jill, let's go to the cafeteria. Jill says, okay. Inside the clubhouse, Estelle says, hey, we're here. Jill says, phew, thanks everyone. Joshua says, thank you, Jill. Hans says, hey, we've been waiting for you. Now are you ready to order some food? Jill says, oh man, my stomach cries out for nourishment. Finishing up the play and having to run hither and yon like a madman really works up an appetite. We're not having our gauntlet, are we? Chloe laughs. Ah, but that all ends after today, right? Jill nods. Right, I've got to get motivated. Got the new job to deal with and all. Hans asks, wait, what? What new job? Jill replies, yeah, I'll tell you about it later. Let's go out there and stir things up. We're going to make this festival a huge success. I'll be counting on you, Estelle. You too, Joshua. Estelle says, oh, I'm all over it. Joshua adds, we'll do our absolute best. That evening, everyone spent a rather busy hour in the cafeteria. At the end, they all raised a toast, with soft drinks to the success of the play. Afterward, they returned to the dorm and went to bed early, in order to be prepared for the busy day ahead. And on the day of the festival, Jill says the stage is set perfectly. The lights are just right. Okay, it looks like we're ready to unleash our masterpiece. Hans says we'll be opening soon. We've got a bit before everything starts though. Go have some fun in the meantime. Estelle says, now you're talking. I'm going to stuff my face with something from every food stand out there. Joshua says looking around is fine, but if you eat too much, you'll be too full to move in the play. Estelle gasps, yeah, I probably shouldn't overdo it. Hey, aren't you guys going to come with us? Jill says, can't. We've still got student council business to deal with. You'll be fine. Go have some fun. Estelle asks, what? Chloe asks, what student council business? And didn't you say the same thing yesterday? Is there something I can do to help? Jill replies, we're fine, I promise. All you need to do is show Estelle and Joshua around. Aren't the pipsqueaks going to be showing up soon? Chloe says, oh right, sorry. Hans says, we'll have time enough to go out and enjoy the festival. Oh yeah, and Joshua, if you see any hot girls out there, I expect you to beeline it right back here and tell me, got it? I wouldn't want any of them missing out on the pleasure of my company. Joshua says, yeah, I got it. Tall, gorgeous, sensual, charming. Did I miss anything? Hans replies, my friend, I couldn't have said it better myself. She'll have men. Estelle sighs. Seriously, talk about one-track minds. Chloe laughs. A woman's voice says, the time we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. The 52nd Jenis Royal Academy Campus Festival has begun. Everyone's gone outside. Estelle says, holy, tons of people. Joshua says, well, this is the famed Jenis Royal Academy after all. So it's definitely not your average school festival. Chloe laughs. Well, we are expecting a lot more visitors this year than usual. Jill says, all right, it's finally here. Come on, Hans, let's go. Hans replies, all right. We'll be in the student council office, so come see us if you need us. Joshua replies, sure thing. Best of luck, you two. Chloe asks, shall we go and look around as those two run away? Estelle says, works for me. Right, and we shall leave the looking around for next time. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful day and we will see you in the next episode.